Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's Waffle Box time.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
My crotch is itchy.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
Two chicks at the same time, man.
I just thank the Lord she didn't live to see her son as a mermaid.
You killed a hooker!
Call girl!
No,
she was
Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers.
This time we are sure she's a woman, right?
Why do you want to listen to the TV with the stereo on?
Because I like to party.
Let's do this!
And welcome to Waffle Box, episode 5, the podcast, where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing at the same time. My name is Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the co-host with the co-most, if that's the thing, Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Mike Fish, we're gonna make that a thing. The co-host with the co-most. I like that. That's a t-shirt now.
It's a t-shirt. That'll be going on to waffleboxpod.com shortly. Look out for that. How you been, though? What have you been up to this last week?
Oh, it's I just stayed at home. Again, another nice quiet weekend. I was prepping for an interview that I had last night. That'll be out on the Microdose this Friday, early plug. But I mostly just stayed at home and went down the YouTube rabbit hole of paranormal videos. Always fun stuff, always creepy, always gets the hairs on my arm going. Many times, I don't know what channel I was watching. So no plug for them. But the guy I like to lay it on thick. He's like, "What do you think it is?" Like, you'll see this figure running, and it's just what the video says. It looks like a headless runner. And then at some point, the video snaps and the whatever it is disappears. But whether it is a headless corpse or not, the host will always go like, "This jogger's just trying to get ahead of himself." Laid in real thick, and you're like, "Ooh, fuck you, man!" Just. And then other times, like, look at this vapor apparition. What do you think it is? And sometimes you're just like, man, it's 3 a.m. in Poland during the winter. It's probably just their breath. I'm willing to believe it's just their breath. Okay.
Hey, what do you think it is? Well, no, that's why I'm watching. You tell me what it is.
That's true.
But I do love the YouTube rabbit hole. I found myself on that. Did I tell you before about the gender reveal gone wrong video that I watched?
I don't believe so.
Those are one, gender reveals parties or whatever. I think they're dumb as hell anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But these videos were fantastic, and it was like a 20-minute video, and there was 2 in particular that were my favorites, and I can't decide which one is my favorite. So the first one was when the guy, so those like confetti cannons where you like twist them and it goes poof.
Yes.
So obviously this one was filled with a certain color smoke, and it was going to reveal whether it was going to be a boy or a girl. So either this guy is a complete idiot or he was nervous, I don't know, but he obviously wasn't reading the instructions correctly. So as he twists it, it becomes very apparent that he's holding it the wrong way around. And so...
Is it pointed down at least?
Let's just say 2 things were achieved. 1, everyone found out they were having a boy. 2, that boy is probably going to be an only son. Because this exploded in his crotchal region. He went down like he'd been knocked out by Floyd Mayweather. It was
You
painful
wish he
to
got
watch.
knocked out by Floyd Mayweather. Oh my God. Yeah,
That was-
folks, we don't need to bring explosives into this, okay? Just a little piece of paper or that little bullshit inside a cupcake. That's all we need. Just stop being precious about it. We already had the big fire last September.
I remember that, yeah.
That shit was wild. So,
There was another one where it was the same sort of idea with the cannons, but I guess both husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, I didn't know if they were married or not, but they both had a cannon and they were going to shoot them off at the same time. And everyone's all getting excited and they twist the cannons, and then one lets out blue smoke and one lets out pink smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to assume that they're not having twins because everyone at the party was like, oh, what does that mean? And so I guess in the end, they just had to go, oh, it's a boy. Oh, okay, cool. A whole waste of time.
They did it wrong. Yeah. I get the whole idea about the party, your closest friends. It's you'd be surprised you never see those parents again after that party. So like get some booze in the dad, talk to the mom one more time, and then that's it. You don't they're buried in diapers after that. But yeah, we don't need pyrotechnics involved in this, guys. Just let's learn from past mistakes made by others. Please.
Send a text.
Send a text. Yes.
There you go.
Send
just
a
emoji. Like you can use the circle with the arrow up if it's a boy. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
Group text. Less explosives. No one's injured.
Everyone will be just as excited. I promise you. I'm always excited when my friends tell me they have a kid. I'm like, wow! But never have we ever brought explosives into it. So
explosives, especially when handled by an untrained person, never ends.
And the dad's always had a couple cold ones, and now he's even less confident. Yeah, it's just a bad.
Because he knows that's probably the last time he's going to get drunk for a while.
Nah, new fathers find a way to get a couple beers in them throughout the day.
I'm just going to go to the store to pick up some diapers. 4 hours later. Oh, that's traffic. Mad traffic.
Well, knock on wood. You'll never have to deal with that.
Why does your breath smell of alcohol? Well, there was this drunk person who fainted and had to perform mouth to mouth. That's why.
I was just going to say, you got a free 6-pack with every case of diapers.
That's a hell of a promotion. They should do that. But speaking of, this is a nice segue to our opening topic.
All right.
Of new fathers and new. Kevin Hart has a new movie out on Netflix, the Flicks of Net, called Fatherhood. Have you had I know you're a movie guy. Have you had a chance? I know you have a busy schedule with your movies. Have you had a chance to check this one out yet?
No, I really have no expectations to see it either. I like the Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart's comedy. I like Kevin Hart movies. I love Kevin Hart's work ethic, man. But this is that movie about it's hard being a single parent, especially a single father. But because I'm a father now, I'm a complete retard. We're in a world today where stay-at-home dads are very common, and I've known plenty of them. And you know what? They never panic like in the movies. They've done all the training already. Like they're all pretty level-headed. But every time a movie like this comes up, the panic. He blinked for 1 second and the baby's gone, and it's about to like dive into the garbage disposal. Little things like that. He puts the diaper on the baby's forehead instead of its ass. It's little comedy bits like that. Am I correct here, Mike? Did any of these things happen so far?
I think you're a little bit wrong.
Okay.
I'm afraid. Yeah.
All right. Happy to hear that.
I think you've taken, and I don't blame you, but I think you've taken the fact that it's a Kevin Hart movie and thinking it's going to be like a slapstick comedy movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there are comedy bits in it, but wow, this is far, far from your like LMAO comedy. Now I feel bad that I might spoil it because. So yes, by the way, spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched Fatherhood yet and you're listening to this or watching this, fast forward to I don't know when, but we're going to be talking about it. So basically, I'm thinking similar to what you're thinking. Oh, Kevin Hart movie. Get ready to laugh my ass off. Here it comes. Mm-hmm. And then literally like pretty much the opening, I wouldn't say scene, but the opening, I guess, act of the movie. Mm-hmm. You find out that he's a single father because the opening scene is him at his wife's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And so his wife dies shortly after due to complications after giving birth. And suddenly you're in this like, oh shit, this got heavy real fucking quick. So yeah, so he then becomes a single father, literally from the get-go. And then there's like this struggle between his mother-in-law because she wants to take the baby because she doesn't think he'll be able to take care of it, and then it does progress into not slapstick comedy, but there are funny bits, but it's the where you think it's going to go from there, where he struggles, but then he becomes a better father and he grows up and finds someone else, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Is there a girl in the middle? He thinks he might have found the one, and then she's like, "You got to choose me, your child or me." And then he just goes like, "Obviously, I'm choosing my child. You crazy woman, leave me alone."
No, it doesn't go that deep. But yeah, so he meets someone, and then very early on, he's like, "Hey, I really like you, but what I want to make sure it's very clear that my daughter comes first, and blah blah blah." And then. So there's a scene where it'll... Because obviously every movie like this, whether it's about this or anything pretty much, there's always the struggle at the beginning, and then, it looks like everything's happening very nice, and then something happens where like the new couple argue and they split up, and then there's a down again, and then it's back up again at the end, right? That's pretty much the roller coaster of every movie. So what happens here is that whilst Kevin Hart, I guess for the first time, is over at his new girlfriend's place making whoopee while his kid's at school. But then his kid has an accident, cuts her head open, and gets taken to the hospital. The school tries to contact him, but his phone's on silent because he's in bed. And then he flips out because he had to go to the hospital to his kid, and it's the same hospital that his wife died in. And so he's like freaking out, blah, blah, blah. And then they have an argument, like basically, like, this wouldn't have happened if I wasn't doing that, blah, 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 blah. And they split up.
Second act conflict.
But then, long story short, his daughter's like, I miss her, blah, 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 blah. And they all get back together again at the end.
So we spent some time with him and this child, like years she develops to like where she's finally like talking like a little person, right?
Yeah, they never really specified, but if I had to guess, I would say you progress from newborn to, I would say, me like 6 or 7 years old.
Okay, right on.
Obviously, all the other characters don't age at all, miraculously. But the child...
Sometimes the trick is just to wake up looking like you're 40. Yeah.
But there was there's one thing I do before, I guess you have your Q&A session. There is one very weird section in it, right? So, I think I can't remember if it's their first date or something like that. Maybe it is, but he, like a gentleman, he walks her back to her apartment, and then talking at her steps, and then he says, "I'm going to kiss you now. Is that okay?" And then she replies, "Would you like me to take my false teeth out?" And he's like, "No," because
that's the Kevin Hart comedy I do want. All right.
Well, but then he says, "No, keep him in because then if I'm a bad kisser, I can blame it on your false teeth." All right. And I'm just sitting there, okay, there was no mention before whether she has false teeth or not. So I'm going to assume that was her idea of a joke in the universe that is Fatherhood.
Okay.
But it's like, that's a terrible joke to make on a first date, because that's one of those types of jokes where you're like, are you serious? I don't know if you're serious. I don't know if that's a joke because I don't know you enough. So I have to assume that you're being serious. And then when they say, "No, I'm only joking," ha ha ha, how was I supposed to know that? I don't know you.
It's the average test in the mating ritual of the female species. She wants to see how you react, Mike.
But I guess stereotypically,
can you love this? Can you love this woman with false teeth, Mike? The answer is no, because you were shallow. But that's okay. I'll still love you, buddy.
But I guess in the stereotype of men and women, I guess the women can make that kind of joke and get away with it, because if he's in the mindset, nothing's really gonna take him out of that.
I might take that joke next time and see what happens myself. Shit.
Do it. I dare you.
I'll let you know what happens if I do.
Looking forward to that episode. So you got any questions, thoughts about this movie? Are you gonna have I now convinced you to maybe check it out?
Yeah, I might check it out. It's not going to happen right away, but it sounds like Kevin Hart's really going for the drama in this one. Can you tell me, is it better than the movie he did with Bryan Cranston a couple years ago? Because that one, I honestly felt like, oh, Kevin Hart's trying to get that Oscar nomination at least, because he was swinging for the fences on it, and it was only because one, that movie was connected to Weinstein just as he got Me Too'd, and then I think Kev might have had a little altercation himself with something, and then it got pushed to a January release, which is usually death. So, however, it was still a pleasant film, and I thought it was very well done. But yeah, no one gave a shit about it after all those details.
See, that's a kind of a very layered question because
I'm sorry, my bad.
No. But is it better?
Is it better? Is it on par? Is it,
I would say personally, out of the two, I enjoyed both movies very much. I would probably.
Do you remember the name of the movie though? Because I don't.
Oh, yes. I remember the poster.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So you don't remember the name of the movie, so therefore that's our review of that movie.
Well, I was gonna say this. I out of the two, I probably prefer this one, Fatherhood, slightly more. But if we're talking about award nominations and things like that, I just because of maybe the kind of film it is and who else is in it, I would probably say the Bryan Cranston movie probably was better in that sense of a possibly award winning. But now I need to look it up. Because that's going to annoy me. Because I know it was a remake of a French movie.
That's right.
What I know.
And I understood that the French movie had the real life story is it was a Muslim gentleman, and then France was all like, well, maybe we don't do that, and so they got this pleasant French black actor, and then that's somehow translated into Kevin Hart in America.
The Upside. Based on The Untouchables. For some reason, I thought The Upside.
Untouchables.
I don't know why, but because of the title, I mean, you don't have to believe me, but the title Upside popped into my head. But for some reason, I don't know why, when I was thinking The Upside, I don't know, that sounds like a football movie. That sounds like
That's The Blind Side.
There, okay. So
Yeah. But that's, I totally understand why you say that. Yeah, that's The Blind Side.
That's why I thought.
Kevin Hart is an overachiever, man, and I would not be surprised if within the next 5 years we were talking about him being nominated for an Oscar for something. I'm calling that shot now. 5 years.
I could see him being one of those types of actors because of the movie unless I would like to think I'm going to be wrong, that I could see him because of the type of actor he is, and I think at this point he has, even if he does different roles, I think he's in a segment now. He's in a typecast-ish situation. So I imagine he's either going to be one of two things. He's either going to be nominated for like a best supporting actor role when someone else, or I wouldn't be shocked further down the road because of, again, like I said, the work he puts in, the amount of stuff he puts out. I could see him before he even gets anything related to a best actor or a best supporting actor. If he gets like one of those like lifetime achievement awards or something like that before he gets anything like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's a bold prediction.
It feels like a disappointing prediction. Like that's the last case scenario. Like there's an actor named Wes Studi. You've seen him in a bunch of movies. I'll say the one you'll probably recognize him for the most is Street Fighter, where he played Sagat. However, hell of an actor, has done way better stuff than that film, but he's only got an Oscar because he finally got his Lifetime Achievement Award, as opposed to whatever movie he did 3 years ago with Christian Bale that's escaping me right now. Great fucking movie. Don't remember the name.
We are
But
on fire tonight.
we are on fire, sir. That's why I'm wearing all red. I thought you knew. But yeah, Kevin Hart, man.
For those
I think
listening to this podcast, Kush is wearing all red. I can confirm. And
That's
I'm
right.
kind of wearing blue, so it kind of we even each other out wonderfully.
Outstanding. Yeah,
Like
I think the only person that might work
like a gender
harder than
reveal
Kevin
party.
Hart is The Rock, but that guy's got two extra feet on top of Kevin Hart, so Kevin Hart gets to win that contest anyways.
In both directions.
Yeah. There you go.
Like 2 feet more, and then
Oh right, yeah, good call. Good call. Yeah,
and apparently he's
Kevin Hart
apparently
could
he's
unzip The Rock and step into him and use The Rock as a mech suit, like in Aliens.
or like The Rock is when you where you get your friend and you sit on his shoulders and you put the coat to make yourself look like an adult.
Right,
Maybe
right,
that
right.
is what The Rock is to Kevin Hart. Like Kevin Hart's
Well,
sitting on someone else's shoulders and he's got a suit on.
I mean, in that one situation, The Rock could actually drape Kevin Hart over his shoulders like a mink, but then put the coat over so it just looks like he doesn't have a neck, which would be debatable anyways because of how big he already is. And that's how they would sneak into a movie to see Fast 9 this Friday.
I would love to see that happen. The Rock and Kevin Hart sneaking into Fast 9 or F9, whatever the fuck it's called.
It's all the same, man. It's all the same.
Speaking of Blindside, that's about football, which is a sport
Sport of Kings,
which is played in college. Segue. So next, obviously, so I think it's a higher court in the grand old US of A has released a ruling. I believe yesterday it came out. So the Supreme. So I'm going to read a little bit, the first bit,
please.
Which is I think it's going to have huge ramifications moving forward.
It's very exciting. I have many questions.
So the Supreme Court of the United States unanimously affirmed a ruling Monday that provides for an incremental increase in how college athletes can be compensated, and also opens the door for future legal challenges that could deal a much more significant blow in the NCAA's current business model. Basically, the decision allows schools to provide their athletes with an unlimited compensation as long as it's some way connected to their education. Mm-hmm. So I think, one, this is going to be, in the grand scheme of things, I think this is relatively small now, but I think this is going to set a precedent for future where I think the landscape for college athletes and college sports is going to change drastically. Moving forward. For those who are listening or watching who don't necessarily know, college sports makes a shit ton of money for colleges in America, but college athletes don't get paid a single penny for that because I guess
their images and their likenesses get used all the time, especially in video games now. It's right. It's very exploitive.
Yeah, so the argument on one hand is that what's the good way of being exploited?
You get paid for it.
I guess.
You've agreed to exchange money to be on that poster, to have someone buy your jersey, to have your likeness in the next video game. So
the argument apparently being is to keep the pure and all that BS is that college athletes are obviously college in general in the United States costs a lot of money to go to. So obviously these college athletes get a scholarship, so they don't pay anything for their education, and their arguments is the amount of money they're saving is technically payment, I guess, for what they're doing. However, really, I mean, what's even on the upside? What is college tuition? Like a few $100,000?
I mean, it depends on where you go, and I couldn't tell you, Mike. I don't even remember what my college tuition was, but it gets deeper than that, dude. Like, not only do these guys not get paid again to have but before video games, it was maybe a poster, it was maybe a T-shirt, and now that was about it. And the hope was you're going to get drafted to like the Dallas Cowboys, and then you're going to make all this money because of that. Okay, and then that's how the colleges were getting away with it. But then they were doing other shady shit where like you, Mike Fish, you're a defensive tackle, and you are not allowed to get a part-time job in the off season. You can't work at Wendy's. You can't get a paper route. eBay, fuck that noise. You cannot collect 1 red cent as long as you're a student in anything. And then it's just like, how do you live like that? You're 18 years old. You're 18 to 21 years old. You need to eat. You need to fucking buy water. You need to buy books. Like this, clothes on your back. There's so many factors that go into this decision that make it so important. And I just want to know, like, how much are students going to start making now? Like, what's the cap? Like, you can't have contract negotiations because that's definitely an extra recruiting tactic. But they've already been recruiting. So many variables in this. But the important thing is that now college students can finally make a living doing what they love.
Well, yeah. So right now it says it's uncapped what they can earn, but the catch is I don't know how this. So it says it in some way has to be connected to their education. So I don't know.
I think they still have a ways to go on this ruling as far as like what people bring in and all that, royalty payments, stuff like that. My question is, are there going to be back payments? Like, are former graduates, are guys who got injured and had their career killed before they ever went on to the pros, are they going to get compensation for that now? That's what I'm also interested in hearing about.
Well, that's because that was an idea I kind of had, or the like, kind of the best way. Because I think college athletes, for what they put themselves through, and the amount of money that these schools earn through their work, there should definitely be some way of compensating them for that. No doubt about it. But obviously, yeah, what you don't want is 18 to 21-year-olds who are still, at the end of the day, still in education, they're still in school, they're still learning, blah, 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 blah. What you don't want them is to be earning hundreds of thousands of dollars, because I remember what I was like at that age. You're just going to become an idiot and do stupid shit.
Well, in theory, most of them are still idiots, unfortunately. But
yeah, but so I thought maybe like the middle ground would be, and let me know what you think of my idea.
Please.
Is that each player gets, like you say, like almost like a college retirement fund, or what is it called, a hedge fund or something like that. And so basically, what happens is, if let's just say you're a football player and you're now eligible for the NFL draft, but you go undrafted, and then so it's good luck. I think those players that don't get drafted to a professional team, then that fund gets released, and they go, okay, so you have enough money to keep yourself going for the next few years until you come back to the real world and get yourself a job and a career and blah 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 blah. Something like
sounds
that.
very prison-ish, but I think they can get paid a little sooner than after graduation. Again, like,
or at least paid something so they can off season they can actually enjoy themselves.
There's been so much scandalous shit going on with this. Like, guys have been kicked off their various teams for such small stuff like accepting a suit to go to a friend's wedding, or like a booster just placed $50 in their pocket and they didn't know, but the wrong person saw it and they got expelled for that. Like, so many wrongs have been committed under this rule of you can't pay a student anything, while we're going to just exploit the hell out of them and make all the money. Yeah, this is great news if you're a college athlete right now, and I hope it's better news if you were one once upon a time.
Well, I think it's good news. I wouldn't say it's great news just yet, but it's a start. It's a start for something.
Step in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's something interesting point in the article I was reading where I guess the people that were putting the case against the NCAA, where like, I guess their argument is like how people prefer to see pure athletes and honest athletes, not people who are in it for the money and all that BS. And Kavanaugh was quoted as said, all of the restaurants in a region cannot come together and cut cooks' wages on the theory that customers prefer to eat food from low-paid cooks. Law firms cannot conspire to cabin lawyers' salaries in the name of providing legal services out of the love of the law. Hospitals cannot agree to cap nurses' income in order to create a purer form of helping the sick. So, yeah. No, they can't. Stick it to the man.
They've been getting away with murder for a long time. The NCAA.
115 years. 115 years. This whole bullshit's been going on.
I'd say the most they've been guilty of it though is just like the last 40. Again, once we got video games and multimedia involved and everything.
That's huge TV riots.
So I've worked a couple of college games, man, and there's still money
problem, man.
in those.
You're part of the problem.
No, not at all. But like, there's still 2 production trucks, and then there's a satellite dish that you gotta have delivered in from wherever, and then there's still a whole team of people that have to wire the building for sound and video and all that nonsense. And that was just a game in November that had 0 members of an audience. It's one of the weirdest experiences I've had, but yeah, there's still a lot of money just in college broadcast, and it's. Man, I understand, like, pride, like, that's the school I used to go to, or that's the school I'm currently going to. I understand, like, these are the future stars of the NFL. I want to see who's going to go on to be the greatest after this. And then there are people who've never even seen the food court, and I just don't understand the appeal for those people behind college sports. Like, again, there's a lot of money involved. Those tickets aren't cheap if you could go to the game.
How much are they?
$40-$50 nosebleeds.
Jesus.
They're again, it depends on the school. I would say Cal Berkeley, probably pretty pricey. Stanford, a lot of weird money in Stanford. Just walking through the parking lot. Yeah.
But yeah, people go wild. I guess. See, my theory is that it's something to do with the fact that major sports like NFL, NBA, and all that stuff, they have the franchise system. So obviously not everyone in America has their local big team.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's the best next thing? My college team, I guess. They're my local sports team, so everyone rallies behind them, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's the only reason why it's huge, but I think that definitely helps.
It's the only explanation I've heard so far. When I've dropped that on other people, they're like, "Yeah, that is a good point. Why do those people care?" No, you gave me an answer finally.
Because obviously around here we've got the New York Giants, New York Jets. I guess the Philadelphia Eagles are pretty relatively local.
Your tri-state area is pretty wealthy with professional sports, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So for that reason, I have no idea what my closest college team is. No idea.
New Jersey, Princeton, Rutgers, I want to say.
Rutgers? Is that a college team? I don't know.
That could be a college team. I'm sure they have a team.
No idea. But so that's my theory. I mean, to be fair though, obviously I'm an English person who has only been living here for 5 years, so I'm probably not the best.
You've got a very unique perspective on stuff, man. That's why I'm excited to do the waffle box with you, dude. Like, there are questions I want to ask you about. Off topic, we just here in the United States, we just had a brand new federal holiday. I couldn't tell you how long it's been since the last one was indoctrinated or what the last one was, but Juneteenth is now a celebration. And based on last year's June 19th, I was like, for a minute, I was like, things are relatively quiet, a little too quiet. And then finally, like 11:30, mortars are going off over my roof. Well, this would.
Well, from what you told me, that could be an average Friday for you.
It could be an average Friday. Also, we have July 4th, America's Independence Day, right around the corner. So fireworks around this time of year at any day of the week isn't impossible. I just don't like mortars going off over my roof. But the question I'm building to is, does the UK have anything that involves explosives? Like, I don't know what your Independence Day would be, but do you have something similar to that?
Well, no, we don't have an Independence Day because
it'd be weird if you did.
Everyone who celebrates their Independence Day is celebrating their independence from us. So we're good for that. But I guess the closest thing to that is our Guy Fawkes night, the 5th of November, where obviously you remember.
Isn't that a French guy though?
Well, so I don't know actually. But basically, for those that don't know who Guy Fawkes is, he was a revolutionary guy, and he tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament in London. And one of his crew, I guess, got cold feet, grassed him up, and so he got arrested and executed. And depending on which side you're on, I guess, or what kind of ideologies you hold, 5th of November is either to celebrate the fact that he was unsuccessful and he got caught, or that you kind of celebrate the whole idea of the revolution against the man. But yeah, so fireworks get shut up for that.
Where do you guys get your fireworks from? So we get ours from Mexico and Chinatown. But where do you get yours from?
A shop.
just a shop? Like you can just go to the oh fuck, I forgot the name of the store. But you can just go to the grocery store and there are fireworks there?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But they only I have to try to remember, maybe look it up, but there are laws in the UK that so any like a grocery store. So I don't know what you've got in California, but we're here in New Jersey, we've got like ShopRite and Stop and Shop and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that kind of thing, yeah, they would where you could buy your groceries, you could buy your food and stuff like that. You could also buy fireworks, but you can only. I'm pretty sure they can only sell them between 2 dates, so you can't buy them all year round, and you can only set them off after a certain time. So I can't remember the exact. Because it's been a while, but yeah, it's pretty easy to get. And then, but same as like 5th of November is the big date, but as you can imagine, fireworks are going off like solidly for like a week before and a week after.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would imagine.
Pretty annoying.
Well, let's clarify fireworks. So here in California, you can buy quote unquote fireworks, but it's safe and sane. So it's maybe little sparklers, those pop things. They're just little balls made out of rice paper, and I don't know what explodes in it, but you toss on the ground and it goes pop. The end. Mm-hmm. You can buy a little confetti gun like that, and hey, but like that's as sexy as it gets when you're buying stuff at the grocery store. You have to like know a guy who knows a guy that's going to meet you in a parking lot to get the shit that was flying over my house on Saturday night. So is that what we're talking about over there? Like what is what's the limit that you can get at the grocery store there?
I don't know. Ones that you stick in the ground, light the fuse, run away, and it goes.
Bottle rocket. Okay.
Shoots up in the sky and.
Okay, that's definitely stronger than what you can get at our grocery store.
You still have to meet a guy. Big ones. But the best bets are, I think you have to be a professional licensed person to get the real big motherfuckers. So it's normally best to go to like a professional fireworks display, because they're just going to be better than sitting in someone's backyard watching one go off, bang, and then waiting 2 minutes for him to set the next one off. And it's like,
You know, my biggest problem with that whole mortar attack was literally again, we're worried about fires and all that nonsense. Literally right across the street, just south, this direction right here, there's an empty lot. And the house across the street from me is technically like 3 blocks away. I can still see it, but like if someone was just in that little area and they kept their mortar south, I'd have had zero problem with the whole thing. But at that point, I'm like, do I need to get the fire extinguisher ready? Like, and we never got to that level. But
it's nice.
Yeah, more to come.
Fire.
More to come.
Yeah. We got
4th of July is still another 10 days, and then the aftermath of, well, we didn't use all these on the 4th of July, so might as well use them on the 8th.
Why not? Because 4th of July this year falls on a Sunday, if I believe. So I'm sure you'll get the
federal holiday. No, so in those situations, Mike, the federal holiday falls on the Monday. If so if 4th of July is on Sunday, then you get Monday off still.
No, but what I'm saying is that you'll get people that will use the excuse of, well, I didn't want to do my party on the day before, so I'm going to use my fireworks the weekend after. So you're going to have like an extended period.
Well,
of
I hear
people
what you're
doing
saying.
their fireworks on like July 10th or something.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, you'll be surprised. You go to these events, and you still come home with fireworks. Like you won't set them all off. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've just put them all in a big pile, shoot them all off at the same time. I want to go to bed.
Darren.
Okay. Next story. How did we get the fireworks, by the way? We went from
birth announcements.
NCAA. Well, yeah, we went full circle. So, have you ever, Kush, wanted to be like, do you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this. The world that I'm living in. I just want to escape to a simpler life.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this guy who in 1989, his name was Mauro Morandi. And so apparently in 1989, he was, what was his exact says? He was quite fed up with a lot of things about our society, consumerism, and the political situation in Italy. So this dude decides that he's going to leave his home, and he just rocks up to this island called where I just saw it. It's Budelli. Budelli is just off the shore of northern Sardinia, near Italy, for those that don't know. And it's like a mile square island, tiny little island. And so he just went there, and apparently there's like an island guardian who's just there, I guess, to make sure, I don't know, nothing happens, I guess. And he was retiring, so he decided, I'm just going to stay here. And he just lived on the island on his own for 32 years. What the hell? Like,
it's pretty incredible.
But apparently he became like almost this tourist thing, because people would go visit the island and he would just rock up and meet him and give him a tour.
That seems like the exact opposite of what he would want. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, so I couldn't do that. I like civilization. I don't like people, but I got to interact with people anyways, man. Like, you still have your friends, you still have your family, you still have your loved ones. Like, you want to still keep in communication with them. You still want to go to the grocery store when you can. You don't want to have to take a boat just to like get a packet of ding dongs, all right, or a pack of smokes or anything like that. I missed the part where this was actually a job of his. I literally thought he threw caution to the wind, said "fuck the man."
No. So it wasn't a job.
Oh,
he was just wanting to be nice, I guess. He wasn't taking any money. He was like, when people would just go in their boats and land at this cool looking island, he would just rock up and go, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And they were, "Oh no, we just saw," and he was, "Oh, cool, yeah, let me show you around the island." So he wasn't like, he wasn't being paid or anything to be the tour guide of this island. He was just living there, and he would just be nice whenever someone else would rock up. But he just lived there for 32 years.
Well, one of the big words I saw in that article was the owner of the island, and it didn't say it was a corporation. It didn't even name a name, but what I thought was weird is this is a private island, yet for some reason the Italian government's involved in evicting him finally.
Yeah, because they were upset because he made apparently. So there was a hut. It's like a former radio station that dated back to World War II. That was housed in this tiny little hut, and apparently their big issues was that he made alterations to it. I guess, which is like
Christ.
Still,
I think they just wanted to evict him. Like, lame.
yeah, I mean, literally, like, no one officially lives on this island. No one. It's not like he's disrupting any businesses or anything like that. Dude's 82 years old. Just let him live. Like, you've lived in there for 32 years.
He's
Let him live
82.
the rest of his life.
He's becoming inconvenient and most likely unstable as far as they're concerned. And they want people to go to that property. They probably want to build a house on it and like do some sort of Airbnb type thing. And that's why they're evicting him.
Probably, unless he's just become a crazy old man. It's like whenever someone
Could totally be
gets up to the
crazy
island,
man.
he's like he just runs out the bushes naked, throwing cats at them or something.
Where's he getting all these cats on this Italian island? What the fuck? He's importing them from Rome, of course, Kush. God. Wow.
Get off my yard!
That's stupido.
I don't know why when I do an impression of this 82-year-old Italian man, for some reason I sound like a Southern American. Get off my yard, you! You get the cats. You get the cats.
I don't even know what that impression is, but I like it anyways. So yeah, it's a shame. I hope he has somewhere to go. Obviously he does not, because he's been isolated for 32 years. So, however, another thing I noticed in that article is he made a post on Facebook. So somehow he was getting Wi-Fi. So he hasn't been that completely isolated this whole time.
Oh, I missed that. Where did I miss that? So he
was sick. It's at the bottom.
He was sick of consumerism, but he had a Facebook account.
He has a Facebook account, which means he either has a computer or a mobile device. Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm looking at this. Where is he? I think you're making this up.
I hope not. But my name is Kush Hayes, so I might have just inserted that memory into the Matrix.
It just said, but on Sunday, Mr. Morandi announced his decision to leave, telling the Guardian newspaper that he would move to a small flat on a nearby island. My life won't change too much. I'll still see the sea. Nothing about Facebook. Why are you trying to...
Positive there's a Facebook account involved in this.
Why are you trying to disparage the good name of Mauro Morandi? We didn't do anything to you.
I apologize to Mauro Morandi. I apologize to his descendants, as to his offspring. My serious condolences and apologies.
Oh no! So it's right at the beginning. How did I miss it? I will leave, hoping that the future Budelli will be protected as I have protected for 32 years. He wrote on Facebook on Sunday. So, but the way, middle ground. So I think the way that's worded is doesn't say he was sitting on the island for 32 years, flicking through Instagram and Facebook. It looks like,
of course not.
He had a Facebook thing once he left. So it's post island life.
Really? That's not one of the first things I'm doing when I'm entering society is making a Facebook profile. Like, he had that.
Well, I don't know. If you've been like in isolation for 32 years, like, so he started living there in the 80s.
Facebook's been a thing for almost 20 years now.
Yeah. The 80s was nearly 40 years ago. What's your point? Anyway, no, my point is that I wouldn't be shocked if, it's one of those situations like with the bear and the dog. You never know what you're going to do until you're in that situation. But I wouldn't be shocked if after, 32 years in isolation, he goes, tell me about this world now. And so I go, we've got this really cool thing that connects everyone in the whole wide world called Facebook, and he's oh, let me get on that shit.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not mentioned in the article, but two things are definitely apparent. Like he's not living off the land, so that means he's boating back to the island. He's making grocery trips. Okay, he's getting stuff when he needs it, and the people again who own this island, whoever they are, they know who he is. So those two parties have had contact. That's all I'm saying. Like, there's at some point Wi-Fi has been a part of his island, and he's got access to technology. He just hates bullshit. People, motherfucker. I was driving home one night, and this dude was giving me a thing about like fuck technology and Silicon Valley and blah blah blah, and the rent's going up. And then we got to my house, and he said, "Thank you for driving Uber." And I got out of the car and I left. Okay, that's a true story. Like I had to stop. It was like, hey man, this isn't supposed to be your full-time job. This app was dedicated for you to like, oh, I'm gonna go to the grocery store. Oh, hey, someone needs a ride home. I'll take $5 for that. And that's supposed to be your day. You weren't supposed to be doing 10-hour days in your Uber car. You know, you made that mistake. You don't have to do this. That was my side tangent. Excuse me.
But yeah, maybe he was sitting there on the island with his most up-to-date iPhone.
Not impossible.
Living his life in his hammock, playing Candy Crush.
Mm-hmm.
Is Candy Crush still a thing? Is that still the game that everyone plays? I don't know.
I'm sure it's still a thing, but I doubt it's at its peak anymore. I never downloaded it. That's the one thing I never downloaded. I have Among Us for some reason, but I never downloaded Candy Crush.
I downloaded Among Us. I think I played one game of it and then like, this is stupid. I got rid of it.
I definitely played more than a dozen. BT Dub, it's way more fun to be the murderer than it is to be the guy just running around trying to solve problems. But
there's no skill to it. That's what annoyed me. It was just random guessing.
No, there's stealthiness to it. You have to make sure that you don't get caught. You have to make sure that they think it's someone else who's the murderer. That's where the skill comes into.
I don't know. We'll agree to disagree.
It's not a perfect game. It's not a perfect game. Don't worry about it.
It's not. Do you know what is a perfect game?
Rock Band is a perfect game, actually.
Yeah, I don't actually have an answer for that. Well,
I just answered you.
Are you familiar with? There's a YouTube channel. He's a very famous YouTuber. His name is the Completionist.
I'm just gonna say no.
So obviously, his whole stick is that he obviously reviews video games, but he also talks about his journey through completing the game like 100%. So does all the main bit and all the side thing. He literally completes every single thing you can do on this video game.
Dig it.
And he was talking about what it's like the worst ones to do, and he was talking about Guitar Hero, where I don't think he ended up completing this game, but because to technically complete the game 100%, you have to. There's like a mode where it plays literally every song in its catalog, and you have to work it 100%, and you can't pause the game. So you have to sit there for over 6 hours.
Over 6 hours? What?
Without stopping to take a drink, without taking a bathroom break or anything like that. It's like, that's bullshit. Which, yeah, I don't think I would.
He must be just talking about like the 50 songs that are included in the game, because Rock Band has over 1,000 songs. It might even have more than that, but it's got a wide selection that isn't 6 hours long. It's like 6 days long.
I don't know. But then maybe I don't know what they
trust
were.
me.
But yeah, he said it's to do this mode.
I have 300 songs in my catalog, so that's a lot. Yeah.
So is no, maybe it was Rock Band.
I'm talking about Rock Band. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But wherever it was, he definitely said it was 6 hours of literally continuous play without being able to take a break, and he thought that was not the nicest thing to do for a video game. But
that's his whack ass rules. He set himself up for that failure. Yeah, no, I love the game Rock Band. I'm obsessed with it. In fact, my sneaking in a plug, this Friday, I talked to the creator of Rock Band, the creator of Guitar Hero, Greg Lopiccolo, and we talk about Rock Band. We talk about his life as an actual touring rock and roller. We talk about what his newest project is. It's a very exciting time. I wish we could have done longer than we did. But behind the scenes secret, I accidentally didn't record 3 minutes of it. Like it's one of those. I have hours and hours and hours of publications, and this is the first time I accidentally didn't hit the record button on time. Not a good look.
Did you do it face to face or over Zoom?
Over Zoom. Well, he's closer to you. He's in Massachusetts.
Well, then that's on because now.
Oh yeah, it's 100% on me.
Because you should have known once you started the interview that aggressive woman didn't tell you this is now being recorded.
Unfortunately, she never comes up on the recording. But yeah, my man is like, he's answering the first question we gave him, and sure enough, the aggressive fembot is like, this is now being recorded over, and it's just like, thank God it's only an audio podcast, because I had to do this for like a full minute and just shake my head and just disappointment is.
We have to come up with a name for her.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. What's the name of the chick in that movie with damn it. The guy from Star Wars. Oscar Isaac, he did a movie in between Star Wars with a femme AI.
No idea.
It doesn't matter. Whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll table this and come back to it.
We'll come back to it. We'll announce it next week. The new name for Zoom's passive aggressive recording has now stopped. Sorry.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's one of those things where she's like,
did I give him?
She's like chilling there, and every time you hit the record button, you're inconveniencing her. This Zoom call is being recorded. Fuck off.
But before this guest, Mr. Lopiccolo, I had been really good about like warning all the guests after your experience with that. I was just like, so yeah, this is apparently a thing now. I'm not telling you because I'm worried about litigation or anything. I'm telling you because this is like offensively in your eardrums. Okay, just so in 5 seconds, and then I do the countdown, and sure enough, this recorded has started. And you're just like,
Yeah, because I remember we did, what was it, episode 2? I think we recorded that over Zoom.
Yes,
and even
that was like the first week it happened.
Yeah, and even though you warned me it was going to happen, it still scared the shit out of me. But that's why I like doing it over stream. There's no aggressive woman yelling at me to tell me this is being recorded.
Streamer has not been kind to us, man. These past 5
it's not been kind
now.
to you. It doesn't like you for some reason.
Have you been hearing the interference that we've gotten periodically tonight? Because it's been very apparent to me.
No, I think it's just the voices in your head. Sounds good to me.
That's not impossible.
But I guess
we
our
do hear
beautiful
things.
podcast listeners, they'll let us know, I guess.
I hope so. Tell us, guys, please. We need to hear this stuff. Don't be a dick about it, but do let us know if you hear this stuff.
Yeah. So
Por favor.
Let's do that. Let's do the plugs. So obviously, if you are watching us, all the links are on the screen. You can see them. But if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartMusic, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts, just follow us at WaffleboxPod. Pretty much everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Any link that you need to link is at waffleboxpod.com.
All the cool kids are doing it.
If you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe button. As all
Smash
the
that
cool
like
YouTubers
button.
Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Share.
Ring that bell.
Make sure you ring the bell for notifications when new episodes premiere every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Pacific Time, 5 o'clock GMT. I don't know. That's enough time zones. But if you do want to follow us, I'm Mr. Mike Fish at Twitter and Instagram. Are you on the gram, Kush?
I am on the gram, but it's mostly at Kush and Kai. And I just try to keep it to like foreign movie posters and any updates of the podcast, Kush and Kai. We don't do anything fancy on that.
But on the Twitter sphere, you are Kush_Hayes, obviously.
At Kush_Hayes, yeah, baby.
So what have we got to look forward to in our universe? So if you're interested in sports, you can check out my other podcast, the Claret and Big Blue podcast, where right now we're just reviewing mainly the Euro Championships and Copa America in the soccer world. 3 more episodes until our season finale, where we're taking a short break because there's no NFL, there's no Premier League, so there's not much for us to talk about. So we're going to take a little break in a couple of weeks, but we're still rocking them live.
Would you be covering XFL? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Would you be covering XFL if that was currently active and will be again for a third time?
Yeah, because I believe, if I recall, I mean, if they keep the same-ish teams, I do believe that, see, New York had a team, and Alex, he's in Houston. I'm pretty sure they had a. Well, definitely Texas had a team. So yeah, maybe we could add that to our little arsenal. But I know you got a couple of episodes coming up on Kush and Kai, and then also the other thing. Tell them about it, Kush. What you got coming up?
I got a bunch of stuff. There's always new episodes of Kush and Kai, but because about college football tonight, check out Kush and Kai number 3. We talk about James Caan in the Program. That's a big college football movie there. Talks lots about the scandals and the politics and et cetera, about just trying to play the game in college. Otherwise, again, Microdoses Friday, Greg LaPiccolo, creator of Guitar Hero and Rock Band. We're going to wrap with him for 45 minutes. And then the Kick-Ass Movie Podcast at the end of this month, June 30th. We're talking about Jeff Speakman's The Perfect Weapon with director Len Kabaczynski.
Lovely, The Perfect Weapon. Perfect Weapon's got to be a gun with a silencer on it.
It's actually two knives. One is shiny silver. The other one is black gunmetal. And here's what you do. You throw the shiny one over the bad guy, and he's all like, whoa, why is a shiny knife flying over my head? And then you hit him with a stealth knife. And you're like, oh. And then he falls over the catwalk.
That's the perfect method to kill him, but it's technically 2 weapons. It's 2 weapons. You're not going to get that past me. It's a gun.
Well, you'll have to just tune in on June 30th to hear the rest about it with me and director Len Kabaczynski.
We'll be doing that. But until next week, stay safe. Enjoy another Waffle Wednesday. So, again, just to give the plugs, if you are listening to this on demand and you're wondering what do these beautiful voices look like, these episodes are also in video form, which you can check out on our YouTube page. Go to waffleboxpod.com. New episodes in video form, premiere live. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. Every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So you can join me in the live chat if you do want to say hi. More than welcome to do so. But until then, stay safe. I haven't got a sign off yet, so I'm just going to steal Jerry Springer's. Look after yourself and each other.
Hey, there you go.